Have you ever been in a situation where you had the perfect sentence in your head, but as soon as you opened your mouth, your heart started racing, your palms got sweaty, and you just froze? You decided it was better to stay silent than to risk sounding silly or making a grammar mistake. If that sounds familiar, you aren't alone. I'm Jane, and today on the Learn English podcast, we are tackling the giant in the room, insecurity. We're going to talk about why we're so afraid of being laughed at, why your accent is actually your superpower, and I'll share my triple S method for practicing without needing a partner. Grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's find your voice. Let's start with a reality check. Why does English make us so nervous? Think about a small child learning to walk. They fall down dozens of times. Do we laugh at them? No, we cheer. But as adults, we develop this perfectionist shield. We feel that if our English isn't 100% perfect, it's a reflection of our intelligence. In psychology, there's something called the spotlight effect. We feel like there's a giant spotlight on us, and every time we miss a they or an a, everyone notices. But I'll tell you a secret. Most people aren't counting your prepositions. They're just trying to get their head around your message. People are generally much kinder than the voice inside your head. I want to share a story with you that changed my perspective forever. A few years ago, I attended an international conference in London. There were speakers from all over the world. One man stood out. He was a high-level tech executive from Italy. Now his English was far from perfect. He had a very thick Italian accent, and his grammar got in a bit of a muddle at times. He even forgot the word for keyboard and had to describe it as the thing we type on. But here is the fascinating part. Nobody cared. He didn't let those slips throw him off. He decided to just give it a go with total confidence. He stood tall, made eye contact, and spoke with such passion that the entire room, full of native British speakers, was hanging on his every word. He knew that at the end of the day, people don't listen to your grammar, they listen to your ideas. He just focused on the people in front of him. That, my friends, is the goal. I want to tell you about one of my students, Sarah. She's an architect, brilliant at her job, but for years she lived in a prison of silence. She told me, "Jane, I feel like a lion in a cage. My ideas are big, but my English makes me feel small." We started small. I told her to stop trying to be the architect in English and just try to be Sarah. We practiced something I call low-stakes bravery. Her mission? Go to a local market and ask 3 unnecessary questions to the shopkeeper. Not because she needed information, but because she needed to feel the sting of speaking and realize that the world didn't end. 6 months later, Sarah sent me a voice note. She had just led a meeting for a new project in Manchester. She told me I made 3 grammar mistakes. I caught them, I smiled, I corrected myself, and I kept going. The lesson? Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's the realization that the conversation is more important than the fear. let's talk about the British obsession. If I go to Liverpool or the deep valleys of Wales, I have to listen extra carefully. The UK is a beautiful mess of sounds. So if we native speakers don't have one perfect accent, why are you putting that pressure on yourself? Focus on prosody, the music of the language, the rhythm, the stress, the intonation. If you can get the rhythm right, you can have the thickest accent in the world, and people will still understand you perfectly. Don't let your accent be your anchor, let it be your sail. How do we actually practice this? You need the triple S method in your own home. 1. Shadowing. Find a clip of someone whose voice you like a BBC presenter. Play 10 seconds, pause, repeat it exactly. This trains your brain that English is a physical activity, like dance. 2. Soliloquy. We all have an inner voice. Switch yours to English. When you're making your morning toast, say it out loud. Right, where's the butter? It's behind the jam. Typical. It builds muscle memory. 3. Self-recording. Record a voice note on your phone for 60 seconds. Listen back to it as if you were a friend, not a critic. You'll realize you're doing much better than you think. As we wrap up, remember, every person you admire once stood exactly where you are. The only difference is they decided to be brave for 10 seconds. That's all you need. If this podcast gave you a boost today, please like and subscribe our YouTube channel. Your task: write one small win you had this week in the comments. Take care of yourselves, keep that tea warm, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye for now.